Hello Steelers, and welcome to a Hobby Report bench update. Another one, another week, another one. This is post Partisan bench update. Obviously it was Partisan last Sunday and that's where I was at, so this week is no such fun, unfortunately. Might be quite a short one this, but let's just see how we get on, because I've actually not painted a huge amount of things. A couple of things that I have painted though have been scenery. The first one is a typical old Normandy Barn. This was from the Battle for Normandy Kickstarter that Leaf sent over to me. I did a review of those and I got some very good numbers actually. A lot of people watched that, so go and check that out. Some really beautiful buildings. I'm going to work on some of the other ones as well that he very kindly sent over. But this is the first one that I built. It's just a generic barn. It could actually be used anywhere from the 18th century onwards up to 1945 really, and beyond, because they're still in existence in Normandy. So I can use this for short practice and also for First and also Second World War stuff really if I want to. So very useful indeed. The other thing I painted as well was Richard Hogg sent over the prototype of his black and white house for Singapore. You'll remember I painted the other one recently. He massively upscaled it for the second one, but this is just the prototype that he sent through just to make sure if the dimensions were correct and things. In all honesty, it was a little bit small, and I talked to Richard about this, so I'm not telling tales outside of school, and that's why he redesigned it and made it bigger. But I'd kind of just put it on its base and not really done anything with it, so I just went back to it this week. I just thought, let's get this finished. There's no point having it hanging around being unuseful, so I may as well make it useful. So I did. Just painted that up, dead easy. It's black and white. What do you want really? And then the other thing that I've kind of been painting as well, working on, is also, I've got on the desk here, I've got a couple of bits of rubble from the Battle for Normandy stuff, so I've kind of just undercoated these at this point. So I want to get these done now, probably this next week. That should be relatively easy. And the other thing you can see as well, I've got on the painted table over here, I have got some of the Imperial Guard, and these are the AB figures that I was waiting for last week in the last update that I mentioned. They'd not arrived by the time I'd filmed, and they came a day or so later actually, because we're having some backup problems with the post office at the moment. So I think we're about 3 weeks behind or 2 weeks behind with some of the parcels at the moment. There's some issues. But I got them, and these all came from Eureka. And I'm currently at the moment in the middle of painting them up. I'm just painting them in 10s at the moment. This is the Imperial Guard chasseurs, the 1st, 2nd Battalion, who were fighting at Plantes-Noires. This is for the punch-up in Plantes-Noires scenario that was in the Two Fat Lardies special a couple of years ago that Joe McGuinn wrote, and it's a little street fight. So I thought I'll get the Imperial Guard. So I've got these guys. I've also got over here as well, I've got the Young Guard as well, skirmishing. So these are all based up, ready to be painted, but these I'm just sitting them. I've also got some leaders as well, a couple of these guys, and I put these ones on pennies rather than on the. I'm kind of trying to put all leaders now on pennies, including short practice ones. I'll probably go back and do the old ones as well at some point in the future. But I'm just trying to put them on, just so they look a little bit different on the tabletop for new players and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. So I don't know if I'll get the guard done by next week, but we'll see. We'll see when they're relatively quick to paint, really, if I'm just doing them in strips of 10. The other thing as well that came in the post when I just got back from Partisan itself was this, which is Tabletop Tactics, Techniques for Wargaming Success by Henry Hyde. This is the Deluxe Full Colour Combined Edition, all you need to win more war games. Henry has set up a new website for his own produced books, and this is one of them. This is basically a bundling of the WSS magazine articles that he'd written about tactics for wargaming and things, and I like to support people here and there who are doing little bits and pieces, and Henry's worth supporting. Hello Henry, if you are watching. And I picked this up. I will do a review of it once I've read it. I'll go through it and have a proper look at it at some point, but right now this is just to tell you that I've got it as well. And I mentioned, it was Partisan. The other week I did put a Partisan show report together. Hello to everybody who said hello to, so loads of people, the guys from the Battle Bunker HQ, good to see all you lot, good to see Ken, Yorkshire Gamer, I saw Henry as well, and a ton of other people as well, Mark, who I've just been in Waterloo with. So hello to everybody who came and said hello and had a chat and things. Unfortunately there wasn't a large zone this year, which was a bit of a, it kind of left a bit of a hole in that side of the hall, but it was still a great show, incredibly well attended as well. Loads and loads of people at it. Really absolutely stonking full with people in the first half, as they always are. Always thins out in the afternoon. That's when I go and do my filming, because it makes things easier. Unfortunately though, and I did say on the description of the video, is that I couldn't actually get any interviews with anybody because my microphone went on the band jacks. For some reason the USB card in it just wasn't being read properly, and so it was just deciding that it wasn't going to record that day. Very kindly Henry did actually offer to use one of his SD cards, but I decided against it because I thought, well, I might not see him again because he was so busy, and I didn't actually see him again. But thank you for that, Henry, if you are watching again. But yeah, I mean, so a bit disappointed by that, and it's, I guess, a lesson. Always check your equipment before you go anywhere or do anything. But whilst I was there, I picked up a couple of special little treats for myself. Number one is this Tactical Commander. This is a rules for World War II skirmish war games, and I also got this, the Normandy Napoleonic Warfare rules as well. This is the 4th edition of the ones. I think both of these were probably about £5 each or something. You know, that's all pretty much all I spent at Partisan, apart from to pick up some stuff from the guys at War Bases. Hello to them as well. Now, the reason I got these is because I'd like to do a couple of videos on some older rule sets. Just having a look at them really as how things have changed in the wargaming world. I used to have Tactical Commander when I was a kid. I used to have Napoleonic Warfare as well when I was a kid. Never played that one. I think I probably tried to play this one. And I'm just looking through it now, and you know, it strikes you, it's almost as though these things are written in a completely different language to how rules are written today. I mean, not just, you know, the way they're presented, they look nice enough, but it's just, you know, the way that they've got this very old school garage kind of style of printing. I mean, things have come off so massively now, you know, with computer printing and all that kind of stuff. So it just shows you. I mean, that's not to say these are the lesser of the two equals, but they are, you know, they're completely different in their approach. Also, what's very interesting in these as well, I'm going to go into more in the actual discussion of these, is just the fact that they're using millimeters. But let's just have a look through this. I mean, look at this. Table after table after table after table after table after table after table. You know, it's kind of crazy how many tables there are in here. These are incredibly granular as well, as are the Napoleonic Warfare ones as well. They're incredibly granular. Very different to how we play games today. You see, you know, just lots and lots of dense texting these with lots of tables at the end of it as well, you know. But they're interesting, you know. Like, look at that for a firing table. My goodness, you know, they're interesting in their how old they are. Both of these are from the 80s, from about I think both 1981, 82ish. So, you know, they are getting on for a vintage, and both of them, they even say in their introductions, you know, the Napoleonic Warfare, for example, is like 4th edition, and the Tactical Commander has been around for, he mentions about, I think it's about 4 or 5 years at that point. So they're both probably mid-70s games, really, with them. Just the editions that have been produced there, just quite later in the 80s. So they are very, very old, and it's just an interesting insight into how we used to play games. And I'm not saying it's any worse or any better than it is today. I mean, I prefer today's games because they're just more streamlined. A lot of the nonsense has been ironed out of them. But, you know, it's what we played at the time. But I'm going to do a proper review, you know, like a review on these things at some point in the future. So stick around for that, and I'll probably be looking out for more rules as well in the future as well, to have a look at some other stuff that I was playing when I was a kid. Speaking of playing games, this week because I've been relatively busy doing other things and Partisan was up. The only chance I got to play a game was on Thursday night with Chris down at the club. I took Bagler Hun down. We played a game of the Air War over Malaya. It's the first time he's played Bagler Hun, but he very much likes Too Fat Lardy's games, so he was interested in trying it out. So I brought my stuff down. Alex was going to join us, but unfortunately he was ill, so he couldn't. But I took 4 Nates, KI-47s against 4 Buffaloes. Chris, I managed to get the first kill, which was great, but then Chris turned the tables on me and shot down 3 of my Nates. So my last junior ace was making a hightail for the tabletop at the end of it, and we just called it to that at that point. Great game as always with Bagler Hun. I was planning on putting in a couple of bombers, but as I said, we didn't have a third player, Alex, so we decided just to go with fighters and just do a basic dogfight to introduce Chris to the rules. Really, he picked them up pretty quick, and you know, he enjoyed it. So there's another Bagler Hun player for the next time I play it. Alright, that's pretty much been it really for this week. As I say, it was a Partisan most of last Sunday. Very knackering, very fun. I've noticed that the Stone Steel Wargaming group on Facebook is now, I think it's about less than 50 people off 1,000. So please do go over there, hit that enter button. I will let you in as soon as I see. I think you can just join it. I can't remember, but if you just press the join button, if I do, yes, I do have to let people in. But yeah, hit the join button and let's get it over 1,000. And also, obviously, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button as well. You know, it all helps. It all helps out the channel. It's all part of it as well. You know, the whole YouTube thing. So I'll leave it to that. As I say, a relatively short update this week, but an update nonetheless. And I will see you in the next Stone Steel video.